Good morning, fine folks. It's your boy L to the B on a Saturday because that's what I do is I make a video at least once every day. If you tune in or you're one of the four little viewers that likes to watch me, thank you. It really does matter. Every person or non-person, if they come in and they watch and they're interested, they're watching my content, I'm more than ecstatic. So this is just my little daily blog. If you got things that you want to input and drop into my world of events or activities or interests, please do it. It gives me something to talk about, something for me to work on, and that's just it for me. Today I woke up again. I'm in good feelings, good vibes. I had some interesting dreams last night. They were really weird. They were like I had one where I made out with my first ex, like, and it was like I think the feeling was that I was making out with her and I was cheating on somebody else. So it was just like, I don't know how it felt. It felt almost like, yeah, love the one you're with kind of thing. Like, just like I was kind of freeing in this cheating energy, but I still had a little bit of harboring of guilt. So I've been analyzing this a little bit more in the morning now and just running this through even right now. And it really makes me wonder just, is it, should, when people cheat on other people and we say that's not right, are we fixating ourselves to a program, living by the guilt, and are we really acting, and not in what I would say in our best interest, but we're not acting in our desired interest? So that gets me down a rabbit hole or a wormhole of thoughts where how many actions are we really taking that we really want to do? Are we really making those actions? Or are we just really just trying to live up to society's standards? So I don't know. I think, and then if you figure out your guidance system on that, it could dictate how your life's going to be. I mean, how wouldn't it be? That's a frequency you're tapping into. So I think that's what happens with me a little bit. But I've been in situations where I've been with another woman and I was dating somebody else, and honestly, I have no level of desirability to cheat on with this other person. So I look at them, and here's what I might find this other person attractive. I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think now that's where you're starting to discount who you are. When you just try to deny, oh, they're not attractive. Oh, I can't find, I can't, I don't want to sit here and imagine that this person right here in front of me is, no. That's distortion, full distortion. You're not really honoring your true integrity. But and integrity, that is another thing that's in my mind today. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to use this as fuel for some other stuff. I cannot be a victim of pittiness. I can't stand that crap. I can be in that space. That is not a hard area to be in, but in my opinion, it is a weak ass area. I'm sorry if this is somebody on here that watches this and they need pity from people. Oh, my life's been hard, and no. I will tell you like how I structured my kid when she was super young, when she would be complaining about the small things in life. I would quickly say, this is not Africa. Now, if you're from Africa and you're offended by that statement, my bad. But I'm telling you from my world, my perception, I'm not going to hide behind that. It's not Africa. And you're not in a situation in Africa where you're having to fend for yourself and struggle to have food. There's actually people working really, really hard just to eat. If there's one area in humanity that I feel like we're failing, it is on that account. I just don't think anybody should be suffering some level of basic in life. That just doesn't, that is not, I don't like that diametrically opposed position. I don't like those opposites. I don't like it. Anyways, so I just quickly turn on a video and I say, hey, look at all the starving kids in Africa. And when my daughter watches it, she quickly just says, "Oh God!" I was like, "Is that what you want? You want to go live there? You want to have some real problems so you know how to compare?" Nope, don't want it. See, when reality is real, when it gets right into your face, it's talking to you. You really don't have a lot of excuses. Let me say it like this: pick yourself up by your bootstraps kind of comment. Now, this is not that kind of statement. When you're in a situation where you're just depressed or you have an emotional weight and you're just saying, well, just get over it, man. Just get over it. Look, you gotta be creative on how you get out of that. It isn't just as simple as, well, I've got nothing to complain about. I'm not one of the kids in Africa starving for food. And it's not just Africa, there's other places around the world. It could be in your own backyard. But anyways, so how do you get yourself out of these pitfalls, these whirlwinds of whatevers? Some people are in those. I'm in one right now. I can't tell you. I really can't give you a good answer, or I wouldn't be in one probably. I would say that things that I believe that help me. One is watching motivational material. If you can watch, and sometimes you're like, yeah, but I don't want to. That's the whole point. You got to override that, yeah, but I don't. You got to get rid of that. It's not mediocrity. It's that indifference. You got to get rid of indifference. That sucker is a web of just sucking up all of your goodness that could be coming your way. So you watch some motivational material. It doesn't take long. Watch some good stuff. Just type in, hey, motivational videos, coaches, workout if you have to, whatever it is. And that will reignite your purpose, or at least your drive to just say, yeah, I got nothing to say. And usually it falls back on that thing I was talking about with the starving kids in Africa. Because a lot of these coaches talk about the people that have real hard times. And it makes you really put in your mind how I am doing so good in my life. So good. And how am I wasting it in this way when I could be bettering it and figuring out ways to go back and help the people that this video is even talking about, people that are less fortunate. So I don't know. I didn't think this video would go into this direction, but it is today. Yeah, so integrity. I have sent off information to this individual, Mark Portney, and it pisses me off. This is what will really irritate me. I think personal integrity is the fiber of your being, your compass, moral compass, your truth compass, your integrity compass. You have to have personal integrity. Especially if you're accountable to others. I think when you fail others, and you should really include yourself. If you fail yourself, it falls back on you as an ultimate failure. Meaning that when I say it like this, and it's okay to have like accidents and stuff like that and things didn't work out. That's okay. But if that sits there and it's allowed to fester, it becomes a disease. Again, a separate type of thing that grows, and then it really challenges who your character is. I had somebody commenting on my videos who wanted to talk to me about some AI stuff. Now, I'm going to share a little bit of how I am as far as what I've seen my personality profile is. I'm beginning to understand now a little bit clearer things that are me. And you would think I had this figured out, but people, sometimes you have aspects of you figured out, and then you're still in the fog about some other stuff. But I had somebody on here that was speaking to me about how they wanted to address things with artificial intelligence and getting their chat together so that they could run. And they asked what's the best way to get in touch. And I used my personal email for this account here, just gave them that L to the be real at Gmail, and I haven't got a response. I don't know if you're watching this, man or girl, just send me the information and we'll talk. This is personal integrity. You have been a vocal person on my channel. I appreciate that. I'm going to call you out. So if you've been vocal on my channel and you want some help, it's free help. I'm not saying I'm going to charge you. I don't have, maybe down the road, but I'm not there. I'm not there where I want to charge people for information. So if you wanted some assistance with it, I had your back, man or girl, whatever it is. So reach out to me. This is part of that personal integrity. If you're wanting to get in touch with me and you want to reach out and I've left the door open for you and you don't show up, I'm already assessing at that point. I'm already evaluating. I'm like, oh, they didn't stick with it. There's another. And this is normal in society. I believe the videos I've watched on people's integrity are like 70% truthful, 30% lying, so I got to be guilty of it at some extent. Probably not always consciously aware, but it's probably there. What was I going to go off of? Personal integrity. So I've said that about the person that's wanting to get information to me. Send it to me. We'll work on it. That falls back on me then to perform. And if I don't perform, I'm not going to like my behavioral outcome. I like to deal in behaviors. This is why I'm making these videos every day. I've made it some compliance system. I have to comply with this activity. So hopefully it moves the needle forward in other avenues in my life. And you guys all get a chance to share an experience. Whether I'm doing things with Etsy or if I'm doing stuff with other avenues like with my product inventions, that is where my mind frame is at. That being said, the product reviewer who claims that they want products, I sent my invention to them. I have not heard anything back in 2 weeks. Now they say, if you haven't heard back from us in 2 weeks or in a week, or give us some time for us to respond, you should already have a timetable for people to wait on knowing how long it will take for you to review their stuff. And then also, you should send them a confirmation email letting them know that you received their information. That goes a long way in allowing the person that you're going to be doing a business relationship with some confidence, or allows them to feel like they're being heard, some respect. Right now, it feels like I'm going into an area where there's very little respect, and it's probably just in this slice. You got to understand, this is a big pie when you're in the product world, and it's like some people are like, some companies are thriving for new ideas and want innovation and want to boost the little guy. I think that's amazing. Actually makes me inspired to go ahead and start to go into some entrepreneurial groups. I think there's a whole lot there. There's a bunch there for me to invest in. And from all the people I ever talked with in my life, none of them even think about this. So when you go into some of these spots, you say, gosh, it feels like everybody's making an invention. Gosh, it seems like I have so much competition. And really, it's just you caught the sliver of the pie. So I'm in this guy's zone, who obviously has some success, but he's still just a small fish in the pond. And even with his greater reputation, his Shark Tank and all this kind of stuff, he's still a small little fish. And so I'm keeping aware of this, but at the same time, I wanted to have some personal integrity. Now here's the effed up part. He's associated with himself with somebody else that I respect, which is one of the reasons why I even decided to send my information there. So I don't get any kind of confirmation email. What's the other thing is? I don't get a response back at all now to know that my idea is being reviewed and what their thoughts are. I don't have any timetable to go off of. It's just very vague and ambiguous, and like, I think that could be improved. I mean, honestly, I don't want to champion this guy, but the fact that the person that I respected championed them, supported them, had some of his own personal students talk well, And then they say, "Oh, Mark never gets back to me." There was one of these cute phrases or statements at the beginning of the video from the one I respect. Honestly, it tarnished his image. This is what I mean, people. Your personal integrity is highly important. Highly important. Because whenever you have disappointed somebody, let's say it's like guilty by association. Let's say I've promoted, I've supported this person, I've put them on a pedestal in front of people, and then others have tried to use the person in the same fashion according to my testimony, only to find out that, no, this guy's not worth it. No, I don't. I had that happen in my career. I vouched for somebody and they had a horrible experience. My clientele had a horrible experience. I told them, make sure you let me know how this person behaves, because I don't think they're going to perform. I have my suspicions. They have a shiny image, but their actions or results, I think, might be a little off. And they were very rude, inconsiderate. They just weren't there in the client, experience. So anyways, what I'm trying to get at is, it ruined my personal image because of association. My image now of the one I like makes me question his thought process. It makes me, I hate to judge, but people judge. I think one of the things that we do, and we say don't do this, it's taboo, is one of the fundamental things that we honestly do day to day. And that's judging and comparing. If you're judging and comparing, you're associating between two different things or two similar things. It does not matter. I feel like that is the fabric of our experience. We are comparing. We are judging. How can you not get a basis of what your experience is if you don't make an evaluation? That's brain dead. So you mean to tell me we don't compare at all? How do you just flow? You don't have any type of awareness of whatever it is you're experiencing. That is the crux of potentiality. That if you have only good and no bad, you have nothing to compare with, to know what good is or to know what bad is. So the fact that you have all these silly quotes out there and people running around rah-rahing about you should not compare yourself to, fuck that, man. You always compare. That's why it's such a natural thing for you to do. And then you find yourself like trying not to do it, and it creates some cognitive dissonance where you're always doing it unconsciously when you've told yourself consciously don't do it. So I like for people to kind of figure out ways on how you're going to compare. Maybe have something set up to address how you compare stuff. That's about all I can offer on some advice on just that situation. But we compare. We judge. We judge based off of that. Like, is this like the right decision? Would it be just the right decision for me? Is this a global decision? If this is something you're trying to run through and compare and consider, that's on that plane. The other thing that I noticed, or I've been finding out about me, is that I'm in this category of Sigma. And I think I reviewed this years ago, and I was like, yeah, that's me, but I didn't go anywhere with it. Now it's kind of surfaced way back onto my YouTube algorithms again for whatever reason. And I was like, check that out. I think it's because it was associated with narcissism. A lot of Sigmas I found get into narcissistic relationships. You would think we could avoid them, but we get in them. And at the exact same time, it does show how the Sigma behaves and thinks on a whole nother landscape. And it really falls back on a lot of that personal integrity. Some of the key features I noticed is I don't have a lot of friends, like close friends that are hanging out here all the time and stuff. I had that when I was in the military, and that was fine, like I had a party house. So here's what I will tell you. You don't know who you're going to be all the times in your life. But when you get to certain states, you have to understand and identify that character type. For me, mine's fluctuated over life. Honestly, if I had to be totally honest, I never, ever, ever was out. I generally fit this one mold my whole life. When I had a lot of my friends wanting to go out and spend time, like I would do it out of somewhat obligation a lot of times. But there was always a desire for me to hang back. And a lot of times my friends would say, man, you just don't want to go out, man. You just don't feel like. I don't. I don't really care for all this extra amount of energy and it's like it's trivial, superficial. Sometimes it isn't, but a lot of times it is. I go out and I'm just having this like it's just like a racket of energy that I don't feel like is conducive in my own life or anyone's life. It does not feel nurturing or growing. It just feels like a lot of noise. And I can turn on a TV show, and that's basically what I feel like I go to. I go to people's TV shows, and I just hear all the racket. And it's okay for a night every now and then, but it's not something I'm in a desired state. I can be purposeful in my life and my actions apart from going to continuous venues or scenes. I would rather be focused on somebody saying, hey, can you come to this entrepreneurial event or networking event? I would be way more inclined to go to something like that than to just be like party, 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 because the party is already detracting from what I want to have or done or do in my life. And that's, I mean, I'm not shooting at anybody else that wants to do that, but it's not for me. And so all these different traits of the Sigma male, they do pop up in me. Like I'm noticing those effects. I'm like, yeah. It says we're introverts. Yeah, well, I found out about that not long ago. I was like, oh, I'm an introvert. That's strange. You know what was effed up? Like, I bought these, I think that's the books over there. But I bought these books based on introverts, like how to navigate an introvert-introvert relationship. And with the past person I was with, I didn't even get a chance to give it to her. Look, it was like, it was all I think her energy sensed how accountable I am to people, like unwavering and unbullshitting, that it was intimidating and disturbing. And I feel like that's what the energy that echoes out of a lot of Sigma males. That's what they say in these shows. And it makes perfect sense to me. We're not intentionally trying, if you're a Sigma male and you can identify with this, you're not intentionally trying to make people feel uncomfortable. You're just holding court with yourself. And so when I'm holding court with me and I'm saying this is who I choose, I'm choosing to respect this level of definition that I've made for me. Sometimes I like to see if I can open those gates or be flexible or allow some other things, but I have chosen this. And because I've made that my identity, when you come next to me, you're around something like that, you know that you're exposed. I think that level of vulnerability is scary for a lot of people. I'm glad the lady that I'm talking to right now is not intimidated, which is really cool. But it's not supposed to be intimidating. Everyone is already exposed. I think it's hilarious that people seem to think that they're like in anonymity. Like nothing is being observed in their life. I just watched a near-death experience video yesterday. And it was, again, smelling it out. And it's a nice refresher to bring me back. But you're always observed. There's nothing you can get away. You're in a dream state. I think I made the video not long ago that I said you are not real in the title. That's what it's supposed. It's to indicate that you have created this belief system that you are real and that you are tangible. And then if you pinch yourself and you go ow, then it must be real. But I'm here to tell you, I've had dreams where I pinch myself or I've given myself pain and I felt it in the dream. You are in a dream state now. We always have been in one. It's all one big dream. I had a crazy dream. This is probably going back 8 or 10 years ago. And when I say crazy dream, the dream was more in depth, more deeper than normal. If you're able to get deep sleep, going to have some of these metaphysical experiences. And so right at the end of it, it was such a beautiful tail end, like cascade, leaving me off into this like fairy tale feeling. And then the voice greets me and it says, just remember, when you're always waking up from one dream into the next. And I opened my eyes and I was back here in reality. It's Dreamality. You have been in a dream this entire freaking time. If you can understand that, how do you want to experience your vibration? You always had your freedom to do it within this space. And then you might be met with these villains or what adversity. Well, I'm trying to look for the right word. You might be met with the challenges of whatever it is that you decided. But it's all right. You can overcome those things and you can gain experiences, and you'll find like these little nuancy things that are shaping you, your personality, your framework of your dreamality. Gosh, we should make a video Dreamality. It would probably be a very interesting one. This video is running a little long anyways, but it's rich with content. So please view your mind, view your heart, view your experience through this landscape. You're not real. And so whenever somebody comes, and we're linking this all the way back to Sigma. When you greet somebody that's a Sigma, and they're busy making you feel vulnerable, like you're exposed, like you're showing your cards and you didn't mean to, you didn't want to, you thought I could keep it private, and it's okay because nobody's cards are hidden. They're all on display. You can't. I think I like to tell people I'm not a Bible thumper, but I'm a man of Scripture, meaning that I pull certain things from the Bible that fit my construct, and I mean I feel like that should be something that people do honestly, not sit there and go, oh no, I've got the holy word. See, that's already sidetracking it, man. Nobody's got it figured out at all. They have a disillusion that they figured out, but that's it. So I like certain things I pick and pull from the Bible, some other stuff from Olaspi or other different religious texts, but this one in particular. So, gosh, I already forgot what it was I was going to say. Basically, when you're in this dream state, and I almost had it again. When you're in this dream state, you cannot associate everything that your actions are as truth and that you're hidden. Okay? You can't hide any information. I think it says something in the Bible where it's like, there's nothing you can hide. Or let's paraphrase it. There's nothing you can hide under the light of God. God sees everything. Well, yeah. If you're an omnipotent dream energy, let's just think about this for a second. We're all in a dream. So we have compartmentalized vibrational experiences that are allowed to kind of move in and out of this little experience. They contract and expand, but within a certain parameters. Okay, so there's some control, and you're the overarching architect that is observing this thing. Let's use the Matrix. Can you not see what the people are going through and experiencing? Especially if you are if we're all connected, we're all in the dream state, we're all part of this thing, we're all born from nothing. Come on, guys. It's been speaking to us the entire time. You just got to roll with it. I know I tell myself that, but I end up saying I like to go back here and stay awake. I had a quote that I told one of my friends. I'm like, yeah, I'm still trying to tell this avatar to wake up, and he just stays asleep. But the whole reason why I say that like that is because he's asleep, pretending and wanting to play awake. But when does this ever end? I don't know if it ever does. I don't know if it ever does. Because you're always wrapping yourself around another type of experience and learning the layers and getting details and information. Maybe there's different ways you can grow that on a higher plane. And what's the age of what your spirit is? I don't really know or understand any of that, especially when there's no such thing as time. When these people in NDE experiences get off and actually merge with the collective, they know everything. Is the end result. They have all information. A lot of people will talk about the Akashic records, and they have some framework of that. But that's probably to help with the spiritual energies awareness or experience of that. But in general, everyone learns and knows everything when they're in that spiritual gap between dreamality and dreams, in the dream world. So if you end up in that space where you know everything, what is the real purpose of going through this experience? It's exactly in the statement in the question. You're going through the experience. You are the most intimate with this experience and vibration that you would ever be apart from it, living in the collective. It's like ground zero. It's like being at the top and not knowing what the bottom feels like. And somebody says, well, I don't want to experience the bottom. Yeah, no man. I think my spiritual contract is kind of in the same zone. I must have strongly suggested and requested not to go through any of that bullshit. I don't want it. I don't want suffering like that. If there's one thing that I've gained from my experience in examining others and being on this plane, and I don't want this to be my continuation, is that I agree to go back and deal with more suffering so that I experience more understanding. Even when I've forgotten and I go back over into this elation feeling and I forget all of what suffering is, and it's just like it's so trivial in the grand landscape, I don't want to go back through it. I hope my spirit really understands this. I do not like the suffering. It's not, if it's like that has to be the potentiality for me to understand, I don't want it. I really don't want that level. I don't want the pain, strife, those uncomfortable feelings again. What I would like to do is create or be in experiences where I can partially examine that, or I have willpower, I have the ability to kind of like, I'm searching for the right words, but I think you guys understand. I want to have a proxy. I want to be able to choose my depth of whatever this thing is. That's what I would like. Like if my difficulty is right here, I want it less or I want it more. It's like video games. If video games are just kind of telling us and making sense of what we already experiencing, then we want our cake and eat it too. There's no question to that. So that's where I'm at with this whole experience. I want something that I have control over the threshold points when I'm done. And I'm not saying like, I don't want it to be like, well, I'm done when I die. No, that's not the kind of done I'm talking about. I don't want to get to this point of like, it was so grueling and now this is so elation. Like, no, I want the in-between. I want this moved up in the ladder where there is freedom. And I'm optimistic that that will happen. And omnipotence, with all the beautiful ability that the Creator has, and infinite power and ability, I don't see why this wouldn't be possible. But anyways, before this video just keeps getting longer and longer, I'm going to go ahead and start getting work on some stuff around the house. Maybe I'll come back and make some videos. We'll see. I don't know what type of behavior I'm going to produce today, but make your beds in the morning. That's one of the better ways to start off a good day and keeping you motivated and to doing some other stuff. I'm not playing the video game right now. Maybe I'll play it later, but I'm choosing to stay back away from it so that I allow other plants to grow in my garden. The game was like a root system. I mean, a weed. It overran the garden. So I'm getting nasally again. But anyways, I wanted to wish you a great Saturday. Go do something productive. I'm getting ready to go clean my car, do some stuff in the house. And I will see you on the next video, maybe with a cooler one. Take care.